Hello and welcome to the Rei Sportscar Championship here at Blue Moon Bay for round 4 of season 8, and this is division 2 that we're looking at here today. So these are the drivers which have had some fantastic racing previously at Dragon Trail Gardens, Brands Hatch and Tsukuba, and let's go through the grid here for the first of the 3 sprint races here at the Oval. So on pole position was a little bit of a surprise, but in the number 50 car was Tahilbro, with second place being another American, this time being Drade. In third place is the Hungarian of Division 2, Lewis ZGD. All 3 of those cars in very American themed liveries, and then another one of those is the blue, red and white of Lizelle 973. Rounding out the top 5 just in the foreground is ERT Mikey, we'll check out his livery later, with Average Tom in 6th there in the Walmart livery. In 7th is Janai Broad on the high side at the start. My own Parasite, he is starting in 8th. With Pixtecker, he'll be in 9th in a bowling car. We'll check out that later. Cyberstrike in the yellow car, which is a Pikachu livery, in 10th. And Noki in the Bahamas livery in 11th. But as we get on here for the first of these 23 lap races here at the Blue Moon Bay 3 corner oval, we got the Stars and Stripes here for America Week leading the way. There are 20 points on offer for a race win, and as the green lights go, it is boogity 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 as Tahilbro goes into third gear and pulls away from the field. Now will packs form in these early stages? The Pepsi themed car of Drade will hope not. As we go towards turn 1, everything looking good for now on that single file rolling start. And there's a big gap there forming before 7th. Janai Broad having a really poor exit out of turn 1, and you can see that My Own Parasite is right on the back of him. My Own Parasite in the Valvoline livery, right on the back. You can see a gap is forming between Tom and Janai Broad there in 6th and 7th place. Just further back, we can catch the bowling themed car of Pixtecker, and then you can see Noki and Cyberstrike fighting it out for 10th and 11th. But back up front, we've got Drade and Tahilbro side by side through the final corner, and Drade taking the lead, and then we've got Lewis and Lizelle here making it free wide, and there's big incident there between Lewis and Tahilbro. That was big side by side contact. And we've got ERT Mikey in the whiter car there on the inside. You can see, I think there is an eagle on the inside, and he moves into second place, but Lewis is going to get the good exit from the turn on the outside, on the high side, and that he will move in a second and then follow the slipstream of Dre to pull away. It's now single file with Mikey, Lizelle and Tahilbro, who dropped from 1st to 5th in the opening stages, with Ivory Tom in 6th, and that is the breakaway group with My Own Parasite in 7th. He's managed to get past Janai Broad, but it's been a tough start for him, and down at the back is Cyberstrike. What has happened to him? He was on his own here in 11th, and oh, he's hit the back of Pixtecker. Let's catch this. I think this is actually an incident between Noki and Pixtecker. Let's just catch it into turn 1 on the Wolf Cola sponsored replay on the start top lap 2. Noki has gone up the track there, hit the rear of Pixtecker, sent him into the wall. Cyberstrike with nowhere to go in. Pikachu into that inside wall. That's incredibly unfortunate for Pixtecker and especially Cyberstrike, and the Struids may have to look at Noki there on turn 1. But back up front, it is Drade leading the way here at lap 2, but there is plenty of the way to go, and it is all about strategy. It doesn't matter if you're leading now, it only matters if you're leading at the end of lap 23. My Own Parasite here in 7th is going to be a little bit frustrated, but he didn't get the best qualifying, and this is the problem. If you don't get good qualifying, it's much more easy for you to drop off the pack. He's fighting with Janai Broad, but it's Drade almost in the wall after contact with ERT Mikey, and it's Lewis who's actually now on the inside of all 3 of them. But Mikey getting the great run out. Oh, big contact, and that's Mikey into the wall heavily, and he drops down. Let's just catch a replay of the last 20 seconds. So we can see Lewis did go to the inside of Drade. You see Mikey there on the outside. He then moved to the inside with help from Lizelle. But then as you go through turn 1, Mikey on the high side, and well, Mikey actually Lewis was still in the middle of the track. Mikey had the high side, but yeah, side-by-side contact has caused Mikey there to drop down to 5th place. Meanwhile, Drade in all of that has also lost out heavily, and he's dropped to 6th, and I think he's lost the pack. He was running in 4th gear when his speed... Sorry, he was running in 5th gear when his speed probably required 4th after that incident at turn 1. And I think he's lost any chance of catching that up as he's fallen with Mayan Parasite. But if Mayan Parasite and Drake can just work together for a few laps, they might catch up Mikey. And then if they can keep a 3-car train, they can catch up this group of 4. But not at all what Mayan Parasite, Drade or Mikey would want in these early stages, as we're 2 by 2. Lewis on the inside to Hilbro, making his way back up after that. Paul first lap, but Tom completely taps to Hilbro. And where did Tahilbro get to? I think he's actually managed to go in 5th, but was Average Tom at fault? Let's go on board, or was he squeezed? Oh, maybe Lizelle went a little bit too high up the track, which caused Tom to go into that rear corner of Tahilbro. Tahilbro losing that speed, and he'll now fall into the clutches of Mayan Parasite. But if these groups can work together, as Tahilbro slots in just behind Drade and Janaya Broad, then they've still got a good chance of working their way back up towards pack 1. So you do have double pack racing. Meanwhile, at the further back, we've got Pixtecker just on his own, and then Cyberstrike at the back, who, yeah, he's got a little bit of a boring race right now, unfortunately for him. Meanwhile, Lizelle here is now taking the lead on lap 4. With Mikey and Tom on the inside, and actually, rather than battling it out, rather than working together, they've been battling, and Average Tom going for the single file. And as Lewis actually goes out of the draft to the inside, and Tom and Lewis might work together there on the inside lane. Lewis going up high, giving room to the outside lane. Tom and Lewis not single file just yet, and that is costing them, because it means that Tom is not able to bump draft Lewis. He decided not to go and slow down slightly, which might have allowed him to just slot in behind, and they could have been closer to the top 2 Brits. Meanwhile, further back we can see that Janaya, this group, rather than battling out, are continuing to fight, and if they continue to fight, they're never going to catch up that top group. This is going to be infuriating for those who may want to play a bit more strategically. But Drade and Mayan Parasite are really playing the game well. They're pushing each other, but Janaya broadening the inside, that's not the ideal approach, as Noki going very, very wide on the inside. Meanwhile, back up front, and we have Lizelle and Mikey side by side. But again, with this group are not working well together. So if the second group can just play it a little bit better, we can find this group of 4 turning into a group of 9 very, very easily. Mikey pushing Lizelle, so this is the teamwork that is required here on the Blue Moon Bay Oval. But then Lizelle going to the inside, and you can see there that Mikey, well, he's not able to bump draft him if Lizelle makes that move. Lewis and Tom are also side by side, so if we go further back, we can see that Drade is being pushed. Drade, Tahilbro, Mayan Parasite, and even all the way back to Noki are pushing, but Noki now down to the inside and hits Tahilbro, and yeah, that's going to ruin that pack a little bit more as they wiggle about there with Janaya Broad. They are a little bit closer this lap around. We can see that Lewis has also dropped off. Was there an incident? Oh, there has been an incident with Mikey, so let's just catch it on board with Lewis. So it's 3 wide up ahead, Mikey right on the outside, and oh no, Lewis completely on his own has lost the speed, hit the wall, and he might fall back into this second group, but that might actually be what the second group needs if they need to catch up the top 3. Further back, again, Pixtecker here, just in the bowling themed car, running just with 1 point to his name right now, and then Cyberstrike out of the points, but completely not his fault to be involved in that incident with Noki and Pixtecker. Back up front, we do have Tom and Lizelle now separated as they go onto the back straight. Mikey will push Average Tom. No, he won't. They're going 3 abreast, and you can see that Lewis is now going to be able to get back in the action. and if Lewis can get back in the action, then so can my own Parasite. To Hillbro is going to try and split my own Parasite and Drade. Oh no, he actually will keep them together because he's got past both of them. But again, this second pack has actually lost a bit of time to that first pack, and maybe it is because they aren't going single file and really trying to bump draft cleverly. We saw in Division 1 that with a bit of bump drafting you could maybe get back up, depending on the time difference and the amount of laps. Division 1 here, sorry, Pack 1 here with, well, they were working quite well there on that main straight, as we saw. And as they go onto the back straight, I'm assuming they will work together well. Oh, Tom and Lazelle, big contact, and not at all working out in their favour. Further back, I think there was contact, but if they're single file, that is going to help them massively. Lewis is back in the action in this front pack. And Tom decides to slot in line rather than being single file. It is a good idea to focus on the strategy plays, especially as we're not even halfway into this race. Lazelle moving to the inside of Mikey, but that was a slow exit from him, and Mikey actually moving to the inside, not deciding to bump draft him. So Tom will actually follow Lazelle. No, Tom moving to the inside. Will he follow Mikey? Yes, he will. So as long as they can bump draft here around the second turn, and Lewis on the inside. So Lewis using that drafting well, but Tom actually choosing not to bump draft Mikey, and if anything, we got Lewis now trying to overtake the pair of them into turn 3. So this is very aggressive from Lewis, and not really thinking too heavily about the race in another 13 laps. However, due to this pack racing quite a lot, they haven't closed in, but they are working together very well now. We've got Mayan Parasite and Tahilbro bump drafting here on the main straight. But back up front, it's side by side again, so if these four continue side by side, surely the second pack are going to close in. If we just compare their lap times, we've got mid-53s compared to, well, it's 54 zeros, so yeah, there definitely needs to be an improvement here. Maybe it needs to be in turn 1 and carrying more speed through there. Maybe it just needs to be working together a little bit closer. Meanwhile, at the back, Cybertruck has retired from last place. He was a clear last place after the unfortunate incident. He did not deserve to beat him. Mikey and Tom not bump drafting, as Tom actually going to the inside there. He had a bit of a slipstream, but he cuts back in. He thinks better of it. Lewis looking to the inside. Oh, well, Lewis, when he looked to the inside, Lazelle was already slightly there, and that's going to be contact with Tom. Surely it is contact with Tom, sending Tom to the high side, blocking Lazelle. But Lewis, in the end, is the one who loses out, and he drops down to 4th place here in this first pack. We are now at the halfway point of this race, and again, Tom actually trying to overtake Mikey. There's no bump drafting going on. Maybe they could have formed a breakaway group from Lazelle and Lewis, but with this constant overtaking rather than any sort of bump drafting, it's not going to allow for any kind of breakaway. So one of these drivers is going to be off the podium currently. Oh, we have a car facing the wrong way. It is my own Parasite. Let's catch a replay of this big incident. It was with Tahilbro. So my own Parasite has gone to the inside. We've got Noki in behind, and my own Parasite's on the inside, and oh, Noki's come up the track from the inside and sent that Mazda heavily into the outside wall, into the armco. Let's just catch an onboard from Noki. Let's just... So we can see my own Parasite here. Oh, there's contact first off. Then Noki hits the apron, and as he hits the apron, it sends the Mazda towards the second lane where my own Parasite was. And that is him down in 10th. Meanwhile, Noki is staying in 6th place for now. Janai Broad and Drade fighting it out, and Drade is going to be furious. He had a good qualifying, but down in 8th is not where he wants to be. Meanwhile, back up front, we've got Tom and Mikey fighting into Turn 1, as they have been for the last 10 laps, it seems. And with that other incident in Pack 2, it's going to be very unlikely that they will catch up now. Especially with low 53s appearing from this group of 4, as we get a fantastic helicopter shot across the backstretch. Average Tom to the inside of Mikey. So Mikey and Tom are 2 of the championship contenders here in Division 2. Meanwhile, Lewis actually won a race last time out at Dragon Trail Gardens. Oh, they're almost 4 abreast, and Mikey and Tom might make contact, but no, Mikey holds off and gives Tom the outside line, which will give him the momentum to push into the lead. Lizelle doing the sensible thing and pushing him along, that allows Lizelle to take the inside ahead of Mikey, and he moves into 2nd place. So that was good strategy there from Lizelle to focus on the bump drafting, focus on the teamwork to move into 2nd, but he separates just as I say that, and that might give Lewis and Mikey a chance to go into Turn 3. And it does give Lewis a chance. We can see him on the inside here. But no, Lewis not making good enough run. Mikey will stay on the inside and hold that 3rd place, but further back you can see Tahilbro. He's been running in 5th for quite a while though, after starting on pole position. Noki is now the car on the inside as they cross the yellow and black stripes. Meanwhile, there are some yellow and black stripes on Noki's Bahamas livery as they go into Turn 1. Noki is going into 4th gear. We've got Janaya Broad very high into the wall, and Noki hits Janaya Broad, but that was just 2 different lines meeting at the same point. Back up front, and we've got Mikey almost making contact there with other cars. Maybe there was another car cutting across him. It was hard to tell when I cut to it. But Lizelle did very well to move himself into 2nd place, but there's still 8 laps to go, and any of these 4 are in contention to win it. It's not going to be Tahilbro, Janaya Broad or Noki. Now they're working together well. They're pulling a fantastic 4-car train. Maybe a little bit too late for that, but this could have been very good in the early stages when trying to pull away from Pack 2. Fortunately for them, Pack 2 had some incidents, and that ended up being their downfall. Lizelle to the inside, right towards the apron there at the apex of Turn 2. Tom to the inside. Yes, Tom actually in the Walmart car looking towards the inside of Turn 3, but thinks better of it. Or does he? No, he is going to the inside as they go 3 wide, as Mikey now looks to the outside, but no, there is contact and Mikey has to settle to go on the inside now on the main straight, and surely they are now side by side as we see the Walmart and the Eagle go side. We've got another Eagle of Lewis, and it's 4 wide, with 3 of which having Eagles on their car. Mikey and Tom making big impact. Lewis going down to 4th in that. Lizelle now down the inside. I don't think there was incident actually between Mikey and Tom. I think I misspoke, but Lizelle now to the inside, getting a small push from the American average Tom. And that's good teamwork actually by Lizelle and Tom. So the teamwork is coming from those 2 and not from the 2 British drivers together. Just a quick look further back, Janaya Broad has moved in well into 5th place after being 8th earlier on. Drade will be wanting to lead this pack by the end of this race though. He does consider himself to be quite good at the oval racing. Meanwhile, Noki in 8th is having a pretty good performance by his standards. Although the incident with Mayan Parasite will need to be looked at after the race. Further up front, we do have Average Tom and Lizelle still working together. No, they're not working together anymore, and actually Lizelle making contact with Mikey, and it's going to be Mikey and Lizelle now teaming up against Tom. So Tom might feel a little bit disencouraged, but Tom really trying to force and get that slipstream from Mikey, and maybe not the best driving. Maybe not the best sportsmanship there, but in the end they have survived. Tom taking the low route, going up high, taking quite a lot of speed here near the rev limiter of fourth gear as they go single file with just 4.5 laps remaining. Good consistent lap times from this front pack. If we just look at the second pack, we can see they're now in the high 58s, so they did improve from when they were doing 54s, but it is not good enough to catch that second pack. With Noki there has actually moved up into 6th place. Let's just catch a replay of the happenings here at turn 1. So Janaya brought on very wide, as has Tahilbro. No, not Tahilbro, Drade I think it was maybe. They've ended up in the wall. Possibly mistaken there, so apologies, but Noki moving into 6th place. And now Noki actually going towards the inside. Well, almost. Maybe if Noki and Tahilbro work together, they could pull away from Drade and Janaya Broad, but we shall see. Oh, that's a bad incident there with Lewis and... Was it Lewis and Mikey, or was it Mikey and Lizelle? Sorry for getting this mixed up, but let's just catch a Wolf Cola sponsored replay. For future rounds, we do have a new sponsor, which is the American beer Ballast Point, and actually, yeah, you see that Lizelle was up here, and it was just that really small incident. No one really to blame, it seemed, but Mikey and Lizelle dropping to 3rd and 4th in all of that, and Lewis and Tom, if they can work together, this would be the great opportunity to pull away, but no, they're going side by side. Tom went to the inside just as Lewis caught up, and that means that Mikey there, with a fantastic run on the high side, can make his way towards those top 2 again. Just further back, Janaya Broad is in 8th place now, with Noki in 7th. Drayden making his way up to 6th, and will surely want to be leading this pack by the end of this race. Further back, we still have Pixtucker in his own in 9th. He lost the second pack very early on, sadly for him. And then Mayan Parasite in 10th, who was showing some excellent strategy, but then was taken out in an incident at the second turn. But back towards the front, we have Tom and Lewis here on the back straight, going across the yellow and black line. Lizelle closing on the outside, will be looking to bump draft Lewis, who's been bumping draft Tom, but they go towards the middle lane. Mikey on the inside, heavy defence, and it's Lewis who makes contact with Mikey, it seems, and Mikey almost getting sent into the wall, but Lewis will therefore lose all of that momentum on the inside due to not using the banking as much, and will drop to 4th. Mikey and Tom yet again very close into turn 2. Mikey making his way back into the lead with just 2.5 laps to go. Almost identical eagles there for Lizelle and Lewis. Lizelle having double the eagles, therefore double the American horsepower as he bumps Mikey into turn 1. But that is exactly the name of the game here in oval racing. And Mikey actually has built up a little bit of a gap, but that will close very, very quickly as we get towards turn 2. Lewis might need to drop behind Tom and maybe think about his strategy for the final lap and how he's going to move up into the lead. Just further back. The same applies for pack 2. How is Noki going to make his way up to 5th? That's what he's got to be thinking right now. Let's go towards the lead. We are 3 wide in turn 3. Tom will lead across the line with just 1 lap remaining, and Lewis and Mikey and Lizelle all making contact at the exit of the corner. We're single file almost, but Mikey pulls out as we cross the line for the white flag. Mikey to the inside in turn 1, but he now has 2 corners to defend from Lewis, Lizelle and Tom, and is he going to be able to be successful in that? He's going to the middle line. Tom is going to push him. Tom pushing, and just Tom moves to the inside. No, Tom is actually going to stay and try and wait until the final turn. Oh, Tom's run out wide. That is not what he wanted, and that's a perfect move from Lewis. Lewis finding that gap, and this could be exactly what Lewis needs to try and win this race. He's made contact with Mikey. He's on the apron. Mikey's going to get the run out of that final corner on the high side, and I think Mikey's going to have this. There's big contact between Tom and Mikey. Sorry, between Tom and Lewis, and Mikey's leading. Lewis and Tom are as close as you can get, but Mikey is going to cross the line to win here at Blue Moon Bay. Average Tom crossing by a whisker ahead of Lewis. Let's just catch a small replay here. We're going to go on board. So Lewis was on the inside because Tom went a bit high. Lewis found his way on the inside. Mikey turned in slightly and Lewis hit on the apron, was understeering wide into Tom. Mikey getting the better run. There's big contact between the two, and then look how close these two cars are as they cross the line. Tom just about pipping. A little bit of help on the slipstream. Lizelle ends up off the podium. Drade ahead of Noki as we cross the line. Is Noki going to get 5th at the line? No. Drade 5th, Noki 6th. Let's just catch a replay of some of the happenings here. So as we go on board with Janaya Broad, so it seems like Janaya Broad was unsuccessful in gaining positions here, but Noki tried to go to the inside of Drade, not to be. So he then looked for the exit out of the final turn. Meanwhile, Janaya Broad was too far back to really do much in this battle. And yeah, if we go on board therefore with Tahalbro, he went to the outside, he didn't focus on the drafting, and it was Noki who just missed out on the top 5. Drade getting ahead of that second pack therefore. Pixtecker will cross the line in 9th in his bowling theme car. And it was my own Parasite who is very unfortunate to finish 10th. We will see you for race 2 here in Division 2 later on.